Evie came up with the most brilliant idea. We're doing custom t-shirts from now on all of the trips depending on the location. Brought to you by the Stoke Economy. This one's gonna be 2 chicks going surfing on camels with their boards.
Morocco, obviously.
Exactly. And each trip's gonna have its own theme. And it's gonna be limited edition.
Only for the trips.
Get on it. The Stoke Economy. I will link below. One thing that's consistent in all girls' trips is taking an hour and a half to wrangle everyone. We are 4. We need 12. To the dunes we go. Yeah! They signed the waiver. Everyone has signed the waiver. Ours is literally like, all right.
Chillin'.
He's on the move. We gotta hold on when he gets up. Oh my god. We are here in Morocco for my first all-girl surf coaching trip of 2025.
Yeah! Merci beaucoup. Shukran, Mustafa. Shukran.
So every girls coaching trip, I like to put together a little compilation of the girls' surf progress. And this trip was definitely a learning curve for everybody. The waves were so big on the first day. So you'll be able to see that, but the girls were charging. I'm really proud of all of them. First we have Katarina. Katarina really had zero fear. And she was charging, and she had some really strong abilities from the start, so we decided to transition her to a hardboard by the end of the trip. And unfortunately she had some bad luck, like getting on some of the better waves when it came to being on the hardboard, but overall I think her abilities were at that level, like she was ready for a hardboard. Then Ashlyn, unfortunately Ashlyn only got, I think, like 3 or 4 days of surfing out of all 7. Her back, she has a back injury that started acting up on the trip, so that was unfortunate, but I was able to spend some time with her in the whitewater after day 1, fixing her pop-up, and by the end of the trip, she was super confident and a lot more balanced on the board, and she was definitely feeling that. She was pretty stoked on it, so we always love to see that. So I get a lot of questions on my trips about, like, am I too old? Am I too young? My trips, you can be any age. And Bettina is 45, I think. Her goal of the trip was just to get up once. So the first day, she really struggled to catch a wave, and she didn't get up that first day. The next few days, I spent some time in the whitewater with her, growing her confidence. And then by the end of the trip, on the last day, I think she stood up on maybe 6 or 8 waves, rode them all the way to the beach, and she was so stoked on this. I kept on thinking she was gonna get tired and not paddle back out, but she just kept coming back for more. Then we have M, who was nicknamed Tinky Winky on the trip, and she had a few things that she needed to fix on day 1 with her pop-up, and she was super wobbly, but then by the end of the trip, she was very confident on her feet. She was turning down the line, and she was really loving it. She also missed out on, I think, 2 days of surfing because she unfortunately got sick. She was so stoked the last day, and on this wave that we took together, I was like kind of coaching her as we were going down the line together, because she was really good at going right on her like backside, but she was having trouble getting on the toe rail side of her board, and she got this left towards the end of the session on the last day and was able to turn down the line, and she was absolutely like so stoked. Like you could not wipe the smile off of her face on the last day, so that was really cool to see. Then we have Teresa. So Teresa hadn't surfed in I think like a year or something like that, so she struggled also the first day. She got really tired. Like, I think people underestimate sometimes how much work it is to surf and paddle in a place like this. And so she caught her first few waves in the whitewater, but then by the end of the week, she as well grew her confidence a ton. She was turning down the line. She was using her arms, her heels, and her toes. And yeah, she was also a much stronger paddler by day 7, which is a huge, like, it's a small window to progress in your paddling, but she really pushed through, and I was really proud of her because she was getting so tired, but she did amazing by the end of the trip, and that little party wave with Em was so cute. Teresa is there on the left. Then we have Savannah. Day 1, she was pretty wobbly, wasn't bending the knees enough, and she was also starting on a foam board, but she also has this hard board that she ended up surfing throughout the rest of the trip, and I don't know who this girl is. Ignore her. But Savannah's looking great. She's looking super confident on her feet, turning down the line, and definitely learned a lot of things in the trip that I think people forget about when it comes to surfing. Like, I noticed this level of coaching, it's a lot more of helping people realize that surfing is a lot more than what you do on the wave, and it's more paddling out, reading the ocean, and being able to pass the whitewater, because a lot of people come on these trips thinking that they're gonna work on their turns and like excel a lot in their abilities on the wave, but they don't realize how much of surfing is just paddling, positioning, and like maintaining your place in the lineup when a set comes through. So I think Savannah really excelled in that, and she grew a lot in her surfing experience, and her, like, she told me she had a really eye-opening journey on this trip and really like changed her opinions about surfing and her growth, because surfing can be incredibly frustrating and demotivating, and at this level on this trip sometimes your progression feels like it's going backwards, but that is like completely normal because you're changing to hard boards. You're really like, you have the most challenges and most things against you at this time. Anki had such an amazing like energy about her, and she was so determined. And so she started out the trip on a foam board, and by the end of the trip she was paddling in, dropping in, and catching waves on her own on a hard board. I think this board she's surfing was 7.2 or something like that, so that was like a huge improvement for her, and you can just see how confident she is on her feet by the end of the trip, so that was really cool. Then we have Cora. Cora is a returning client of mine. She has a 6'10", I think it's like 44 liters kind of shortboard. You can see what she's surfing here now. She has a habit to be too far on her back foot and was struggling to get speed down the line because of that. And by day 7, she had progressed to a smaller shortboard, and she was a lot more front-footed, getting a lot more speed down the line, and on the last day managed to catch this nice long wave where you can see here in the second section she's like kind of bottom turning, getting a lot more speed out of her turns, going up and down the face in the wave, and really starting to open the door to start surfing more higher performance and doing more turns. So really stoked for her. And lastly, we have Lily. Lily started the trip on a foam board, and as you can see here, she's solid on her feet, but she's not quite going down the line yet. And Lily also had a massive progression on this trip. She started on the foam board, second day was on a long board, and by the end of the trip, she was actually standing up pretty confidently on Cora's 6'10" shortboard. So she did not even think at all that she was going to be able to get up on that board, and when she did, she was super stoked. So it was really cool for me as well to see people progress so quickly in terms of like board transitions from a foam board to technically a shortboard by the end of the trip. Like, I think board transitions can be the hardest thing for these girls as they progress through their surfing journey without the right guidance. So we worked with what we had in Immsoaune, and yeah, the girls should be just so proud of themselves because they all killed it and progressed so much.
Trip 1 of 2025 in the books. Couldn't do it without the help of Ashraf. If you guys ever need something in Morocco, let him know.
Not everything.
Okay, maybe not everything.
Stuff, yeah?
Okay. Moroccan Surf House did it all this week. Super stoked. We had a sick group of girls. Thanks to them for committing with us and trusting us. And I think everybody had an amazing time. Babe lost her voice.
Be back here. I was yelling too hard for all the girls. They were surfing so good, but no, for real, dream team right here. Couldn't do it without Tim, couldn't do it without Ashraf. We will link everything that's necessary to be linked below for any information. Any words, Ashraf?
Trust this girl.
We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.